Now, let's get into the fun part. Can I get a whoop?
Woo!
We'll work on it. We'll start from the beginning. In most places, you have to have exit signs. And also, you have to have exits that don't involve plummeting to your death, and forces them to form fraternal bonds in the crucible of battle. And it might surprise you to hear this, but I have not been in a pure mathematics class in about 5 years.
This is a lot of research into things that really have very little meaning.
You're right. It is.
Johnny Cage has big divorced dad energy. He will take selfies of your cuddling sessions, and he will post them with the hashtag second chances. Turns out, she's dead. Someone who is willing to do what needs to be done when the going gets tough. Or someone who reveals an abyssal dragon that they've been keeping under their armor this whole time. Thing where the hero goes on a journey into his inner thoughts and finds some data that an old guy put in him. It's that thing that happens in the hero's journey. It's got the round, soft body of a day one ROTC recruit, but there's ambition in those eyes. The mom variable, which stands for my own mother. So I called my own mother for help. I'm not the most surprise! I lulled you into a false sense of security. Energetic, and can I be honest with you, a little bit distraught. Okay? They don't ever mention that they're essentially just garbage diamonds. It's like trying to remember your coworkers' names after meeting them once at a work mixer, except in this case, your coworkers all have swords, silent, moody sword swingers, kind of like if that person who said they studied the blade actually studied the blade. Either Sonic is a god or could kill God, and I do not care if there is a difference! J.R.R. Tolkien getting possessed, which is a classic mistake. Welcome to Kane Siblings Incorporated, where we all have a sibling-like bond and do the same job. Folks, we're about to engage in a friendly session of biblical literalism. Folks, I hear you. I hear your questions constantly. They come to me in my dreams like a prophet receiving visions from an angry god. After he is fused with the powers of the Chaos Emeralds and a hard-boiled egg. Not a joke. They didn't choose to be born. Who does choose to be born, right? Who chooses? And I don't need any more reason to be afraid of looking at myself in the mirror. Desperate for love and affection that they cannot receive thanks to their hazardous bods. I just didn't want to include them, all right? Look, I don't have to explain everything to you. I'm going through my rebellious phase. Can I say that? Buckle up, this is gonna be a fun presentation. All right, assholes. I have no more space here. That's a fool's errand, Brian. You are a fool. They called me a fool, but do I look like a fool to you? And now that you're jazzed and ready to go, time to fail. But just when all hope seemed lost, I had an epiphany. I am going to throw myself into the sea. That might be a transcendent experience, and maybe it's just because I went so low 2 minutes before this point. More than that, he has this tender leadership quality that makes him not only respected, but loved by his peers. And then above him is a fucking T-Rex. I'm gonna call this the time break.
The time break.
Got nothing better to do, might as well just go have fun. And you know what? I respect that. But you did forget that Ganondorf got resurrected and then the whole world flooded. So that's on your conscience. The time break. The time break. Don't let that failure get you down. It's time for stage 10. You develop an organization to trick young boy into committing heartless genocide in order to create a new pseudo-version of that great power you discovered back in stage 3. And then you fail again. But what about the time break?
The time break.
Knock knock, who's there? It's 2019. Come on in. Hope you're not as big of an asshole as the past few of your friends.
You're role-playing a dude who was asleep for 100 years.
Yeah. And then it's another existential crisis, but this is my favorite one. Fight me. It's kind of like Fire Emblem doesn't know how to make interesting characters without making them suffer traumatic parental death. You don't have to be good at cooking to do this, you just have to be good at arson. If I can't be accurate, I sure as hell am gonna be extra. These are all precocious little magic babies. Who really has the time to read all those books? I do. Apparently. Oh, I'm ready to go. I'm just kidding again. I'm not your friend, and you have no say over what I do with my body. And I honestly do not have the time to unpack this bullshit. He lives in my apartment, but he doesn't pay rent, and he eats my bagels if I leave them unattended. He is loud, stubborn, and not afraid to make terrible decisions in plain view of me. No longer saw him as a freeloader who sometimes throws up in my bed. I saw him as a companion who sometimes throws up in my bed. I love him with all my heart, and he loves me just the same. Yeah. Y'all remember those things? Those little rules that keep you from committing war crimes? Technically not murder, definitely bad. I don't know if you should own that thing. My second reaction to this was, what the fuck? Hey, Todd? What the fuck? These are nebulous, but they're definitely not good. Now, I do not feel at all qualified to discuss the philosophical implications of that. I've been dealing with this small bastard's antics for so long, and if you needed me to tell you that, I'm glad I told you that. I cannot explain that many characters. I have made that mistake before. I'd like to see them try. I would like to see them try. And if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go throw myself into the ocean now. Hey, bucko, I think what you don't understand is basic storytelling. Basic storytelling. How does that sound, all right? You happy?